Oh, Sir Reads-A-Lot.
Well, hiya, Dr. G.
Well, how are you doing today?
Oh, I'm doing great as always.
Yes, you are. You're always nice and chipper and happy and ready to go. You know, we are getting towards the end of the school year, graduation coming up, but we also have a lot of awards, usually award ceremonies and things like that. So you got to tell me, Sir Reads-A-Lot, you know, what kind of awards did you receive when you were, in school?
Oh, well, I've received quite a few, but most of them were just second to Lancelot, of course.
Oh, of course, of course.
A couple that I actually won, though, was Best Reader and, of course, Best Sword.
Well, Best Reader I would certainly expect from Sir Reads-A-Lot. Best Sword, yes, that's great. So, sometimes schools have like most likely to, did you get any of those?
Most likely to come second place to Lancelot, maybe.
Yeah.
But I also was most likely to be a teacher.
Well, that's fantastic. And look at you now, our Sir Reads-A-Lot reader in helping young people want to read. That's excellent.
Yeah, things really panned out.
Yeah, they certainly have. Speaking of that, I have got a wonderful reader for us today.
Oh, really? Who's that?
Yeah, I've got William Kohut from the high school. William, come join us.
Hi there, Sir Reads-A-Lot.
Well, hey, William. Oh, what are you doing in high school?
Well, I'm involved in a lot. I've been a Denison violin player for the last 10 years. I'm involved in science fair. I'm involved in student council president, vice president of NHS, and a lot of other activities.
Oh, wow, that's phenomenal. I'm surprised.
Well, I'm certainly not surprised. William's a good student, but also very involved, and it's a great representation of our Lancers.
And that's a really nice shirt you got there. Is that where you're going next year?
Yes, I'll be attending Yale University, so I'm going to go with a major in chemistry on a pre-med track.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, that's exciting and good for you. So certainly, what book do you have for us today?
Well, today I have The Wrong Fairy Tale, Goldilocks, and the Three Little Pigs.
Well, that sounds phenomenal.
Let's get to the reading.
I have The Wrong Fairy Tale, Goldilocks and the Three Little Pigs by Tracy Turner and Summer Macon. Once upon a time, in the land of fairy tales, a girl called Goldilocks was out for a walk in the woods when she spotted a little house made of bricks. She never noticed it before, and being a curious sort of girl, she wanted to have a closer look. There was a sign nailed to the garden gate. Well, if I'm not a wolf, said Goldilocks to herself as she opened the gate and walked to the garden path. It can't do any harm to say hello. She knocked loudly on the front door 3 times and waited. There was no answer. Hello, called Goldilocks. She thought she heard a squealy, snorty sort of noise, but then it went quiet. Anybody home? She called, giving the front door a little push. To her surprise, it swung open. A delicious smell come wafting through the door. Goldilocks' tummy rumbled. Meanwhile, in the little brick house, the 3 little pigs heard footsteps on the garden path and shut themselves inside a cupboard in a panic. It's the big bad wolf, said the first little pig. He'll be asking to be let in a minute, and then he'll start huffing and puffing, said the second little pig. I'm sure there's nothing to worry about, said the third little pig. Not in this fine brick house, but let's stay in here just in case.
Let's hope it's sturdy.
Oh, I sure hope so. But instead of the big bad wolf's booming voice, knock, knock, knock. What's going on, said the first little pig. What about little pigs, let me in, said the second little pig. Well, whatever happens, he won't get into this house, said the third little pig. It's made of bricks. Then with a creak, the front door of the brick house swung open. Goldilocks stepped inside. Is anybody there? She said, looking straight at the cupboard. She marched up to it and opened the door. And 3 frightened little pigs tumbled out. You're not the big bad wolf, snorted the second little pig, squeezing out from underneath the third little pig. The first little pig ran to the front door and threw 2 hefty bolts across it. Of course not, said Goldilocks. I wanted to say hello to my new neighbors. And ooh, is that porridge?
How sweet.
There were 3 delicious-smelling bowls on the table. Would you mind, Goldilocks asked. Without waiting for an answer, she picked up a spoon and dipped it into the first bowl. But, began the first little pig. Oh, that's far too hot, exclaimed Goldilocks, and she picked up the spoon next to the second bowl. No, that one's too cold, she said, moving to the third bowl. "Wait," said the second little pig. This one is just right," said Goldilocks happily, taking another spoonful from the third bowl. "Hang on," said the first little pig. "A blonde girl goes into a cottage in the woods. She finds 3 bowls of delicious pig swill." "You're Goldilocks," said the 3 little pigs together. "You're in the wrong fairy tale." Goldilocks spun around. "Oh," she said, with a worried look at her spoon. "What happens now?" As if in reply, a great booming, barky sort of voice shouted from outside, little pigs, let me in." "It's the big bad wolf," squeaked the little pigs. "No," shouted all the little pigs. "You can't come in, not by the hair on our chinny chins." He said, "Then I'll huff, and I'll pluff, and I'll blow your house in." "Luckily, I built my house out of bricks," the third little pig told Goldilocks, "and not from puny sticks, or I can scarcely believe anyone would in this straw." "Luckily, someone remembered to lock the front door this time," muttered the first little pig, who was busy closing all the window shutters.
This sounds like quite the mix-up.
Oh, it is. Outside, the big bad wolf was huffing and puffing and doing his best to blow down the brick house. "Ha!" laughed the third little pig nervously. "He'll never blow down this house." After a lot more huffing and puffing, the big bad wolf rattled the front door and the window shutters, growling angrily. "I'll show you and your little brick house, piggies," snarled the wolf. "I'll get in there somehow." The first little pig had his eyes to a hole in one of the shutters. "He's got the ladder," he said. "The chimney," squealed the second little pig. "Come on," said Goldilocks. She ran to the fireplace. "Here," said the first little pig, handing Goldilocks a bundle of straws. "This was left over from when I built my straw house." Goldilocks used the dry straw to start the fire. Thump, bash. There was a thunk as the ladder slammed against the side of the house. "He's climbing up the roof," oinked the second little pig. "Quick, take these. They were left over from my stick house." Goldilocks added the sticks to the little fire, one by one. They cracked and burned. Bang! The big bad wolf was on the roof. "Come on, Goldilocks," squeaked the third little pig, handing her a log from the log basket. Smash! A roof tile fell and splintered to pieces outside. "There," said Goldilocks, "that should do it." Orange flames burned brightly in the fireplace. A moment passed before a big, furry, bushy tail appeared at the top of the hearth. The flames licked higher. "Yow!" howled the big bad wolf, scrambling back up the chimney with his tail on fire. He popped out of the chimney, leapt off the roof, barely touching the ladder, and put his tail in the garden pond, bounced off in the distance. "Well, I don't think we'll be seeing him again," said Goldilocks. And she was right. The big bad wolf never came anywhere near the little brick house ever again. Goldilocks and the 3 little kids became great friends, and they lived happily ever after, even though it was the completely wrong fairy tale. The end.
Wow, that was such an interesting take.
That was fantastic, SirReadsALot.
Yeah, I love the story. Anyway, we'll see you next time, and remember, it's Lancer time!